I joined the military straight out of high school at the age of 17. I checked into a couple different branches, but I really knew that I wanted to be a healthcare provider or a doctor or a medic in some way. But I knew that I wanted to be with the Marines. So I went to the Marine Corps, and the Marine Corps said, we don't have medical, that's the Navy. So I was kind of, I didn't understand it all because I was so young, but I went to the Navy and they said, yeah, we have corpsmen, and corpsmen get selected to go work with the Marines. And I was like, sign me up. So at that time in my life, I was an orphan, I didn't have anybody. I went to the local municipal court and I asked the judge if he'd help me get me into the military because I was underage. He did. He signed a waiver, made me emancipated minor at the time. I was able to sign my own paperwork, went straight into boot camp right out of high school. Went through boot camp, went through Corps school training, became a corpsman, got assigned to the 1st Marine Division, went through Fleet Marine Force training school with the Marines, and then I was assigned to an infantry company. I spent about a year and a half with the infantry company, and I thought I could be a little bit more than this. So I looked into the special forces aspects of it, and they told me about recon or the Navy side of the house, Navy SEALs. Being a Navy corpsman, I could go either direction. I personally like Marines better, so I went with the Marine Corps side. I was picked up, was able to make it through recon training to become a recon corpsman. Spent some time with them. During my life, I spent a lot of time deployed and in active combat zones. I fought in Afghanistan in the 80s. I fought in Panama, fought in the original Desert Storm, fought in Somalia, fought in Kosovo, went back to Afghanistan, fought in Iraq. Unfortunately, I was wounded in 2004. I was retired from the military, couldn't do anything else. Took about a year to rehab from those injuries, and I still wanted to serve in some capacity and really didn't know how to do that. A buddy of mine called me up, said, hey, are you healed up? How do you feel? I said, good. He goes, you combat effective? And I said, yeah. He goes, well, I'm starting this little company and I want you to come work for me as a paramilitary contractor. So I went to Iraq again, deployed as a paramilitary contractor, worked on for the Department of Defense and the Department of State. Did some various missions there, and then I ended up working for a company called Blackwater, and I worked on a PSD team, which is Personal Security Detachment. From that, I ended up being Counter Assault Tactical Commander, and then I worked on TST, or as some people in the military know, it's just a team that goes and saves teams that are in danger. I did a pretty good job on that, and then I was invited to try out for the Ambassador's Personal Protection Unit. I tried out for that, and by means of trying out, it's a pretty intensive shooting course, a good package, and then of course me being a medic, that helped my selection. The greatest part about that is I actually ended up becoming the Ambassador's Personal Protection Officer himself. So if the Ambassador was right here, he was my responsibility. I protected 4 ambassadors during that time, and I also augmented the Secret Service with Vice President Biden, President Bush, and various members of the Secretary of the State Department, and I augmented a United States General during his change of command as CENTCOM. And that's, long story short, that's my history. So.
Wow. So where did fitness come in?
Growing up, I'd always been probably better than average athlete. I was a 5 sport letterman in high school.
You're an overachiever.
So having no family and having nothing that way, I focused myself into sports through junior high, high school. I was a pretty good wrestler in high school, really good football player. I was on the swim team, track team, and baseball, although I can't hit a ball to save my life. But I was a good catcher.
So now, where did when did you kind of make the transition from athleticism over to bodybuilding? And
well, I had never, growing up, bodybuilders like Arnold and Frank Zane and the other legends, they were always my heroes, but I never thought I had the ability to have that kind of physique. But I always wanted to be functionally strong in the military, and especially as a medic or a corpsman, because my goal was, if one of my Marines were to go down, that I would be able to carry them, drag them, still be combat effective, and provide them cover and care. And so I was always physically fit, I was always big, I was always strong, and I just wanted to ensure that my Marines had every chance for success. So I was always strong like that. Unfortunately, when I was wounded the last time, it really changed my identity of myself, because the injuries were so severe that I couldn't really walk very straight. I had some internal injuries with the organs, and my life kind of fell apart. Okay. But Bianca is my service dog, and she's very instrumental in my life, and we don't go anywhere without each other.
I remember the first time I saw her, she fit in the palm of your hand.
Yeah. So after those wounds, I kind of went down a dark hole, and I succumbed to alcoholism, and I was pretty bad. That's one thing about me, I do everything 100%, so, but it got bad. In the end, I was drinking between 3 and 5 gallons of bourbon a week, and not thinking anything about it, and not really knowing it. And then one day I just had a moment of clarity thanks to one of my children, and I just decided that was enough. From the time, that moment in time, I decided I was going to stop drinking. Over the course of maybe 4 weeks, I'd had 2 more drinks, and then I was cold turkey. Then I started to heal, I started to get a little bit better, and then Lee and I decided to do a bodybuilding show as a bucket list, just to see if we could do it. Trained really hard, really didn't know that much about it, enlisted the help of a trainer and a coach, and it was a good, hindsight being what it was a very good learning experience. But which I think actually makes me a better prep coach now. But we did all right. Leah excels. So her first show, her and I both did the Ronnie Coleman as our first show. Leah got 3rd place in Masters and 4th place in Open in women's physique, and I failed miserably.
We learn through failure.
Right. Although the placings stopped at 16th place, I found out that I placed last, dead last. And it was funny because one of my good friends and a fellow promoter and my posing coach, Sheila Brown, her and I were talking about it the other day, but we actually pulled up pictures from my first show to my last show where I almost won my pro card. And we can't, it just seems like it's surreal.
Yeah.
But it was the best thing that happened to me in this new part of my life.
Right.
And it really opened, a lot of opportunity. I went from being a drunk and being out of shape, being overweight, pretty much being a pathetic human being to now I have my own business. I have several businesses that are organized around fitness. I have my own show. I'm an NPC promoter here in Texas. I'm a prep coach now with my wife, and we have a total of 74 athletes that we coach now, including 3 IFBB pros. And I'm in prep currently, trying to go to Pittsburgh to see if I can join the ranks of the pros. And Leah's in prep, should actually be posing, competing in Shreveport next week and trying to get a bid towards the Olympia.
Awesome, awesome. So now I know you're doing some stuff to help vets right now.
Right.
Why don't you tell everybody what you're doing to help vets and how people can help you if they want to?
There's there's an organization that's partially funded by Performance Nutrition. The organization is called FitOps Foundation, and the FitOps Foundation was born out of just out of heart. The owner and CEO of Performance Nutrition is Matt Hesse, and Matt is he himself is a veteran. He served in the Army, and he just knew that the aftercare for veterans and veterans of all shapes and sizes, whether they're combat veterans, whether they're just veterans after they've served their time, whether they're disadvantaged either through alcoholism or drug abuse or severe PTSD and or even homeless and destitute. He devised this plan, and he just made it happen. He created a foundation called Core Jensen, and Core Jensen is the foundation that subsidizes and through donations and everything like that. So
where can they find more information about it online?
So you can go to Performance Nutrition, to their website, which is www.performancedriven.com, and they will have everything you need there as well.
Awesome.
It's really an amazing program. Lee and I have been involved in the first 2 courses, and what it does is it takes those veterans that are disadvantaged, puts them on a scholarship, and they go to a course for 25 days straight. The course is designed so that when they graduate from that course, they come out as NASM personal trainers.
Awesome, awesome.
But the course is so much more. It takes people who need a help up, need a hand up versus a hand out, and gives them counseling, gives them camaraderie, gives them hope, and allows them to feel like somebody or some organization cares, and it gives them a second chance, or at least it gives them the tools to have enough confidence to go out and seek a second chance.
Take those next steps.
Right.
Yeah. Awesome. So maybe we're going to have a picture of you and Leah on the Aging Evolution website. And can you maybe just tell everybody real quick what Leah did in the Air Force? And
so my wife Leah, her and I have known each other since high school. We were best of friends, and we had loved each other since high school. I was 2 years ahead of her, and when I went off to the military, her family was less fortunate, didn't have a lot of money, but Leah was a good enough academic and a scholar. She got accepted to the U.S. Air Force Academy, and she went into the Air Force Academy in '88, and I think she was in the core of the first couple of classes where they had females at the academy. She did really well. She ended up serving under some pretty well-named generals. She was, sorry, one of my clients.
that's all right.
Have a good day. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, just Leah had an amazing career. She did well. She unfortunately had to end her career because our son Ben ended up with some health problems, cancer and autism, and she decided that being a mother was more important than being on active duty and serving your country. But Leah was a tremendous asset to our government, to our military. She really had a lot to play, and I couldn't be more proud of her service.
Yeah. And we appreciate the service that both of you provided for our country. And just in closing, what would you say to somebody that's pushing 40 or over 40 and doesn't think they've got a chance of getting in shape at all? And
see, that's where I totally believe that no matter your circumstances and no matter any diversity or adversity that you have to go against, if there's a will, there's a way. And our Aging Evolution statement is it's never too late to be great, but it actually really means a lot. For me to be pushing almost 50 years old and to be on the cusp of being able to play and compete in the IFBB Pro League, I never would have thought that in my life.
yeah,
And just to be a well-recognized national athlete, if that's as far as I ever get, that's good enough, considering that I finished last my first show.
yeah,
So, and it's not about competing either. I mean, if you just need a lifestyle change, come to our website at Aging Evolution. There's tons of advice and help. There's other trainers involved in Aging Evolution. You can get a hold of them. They can line you out and just give you a lifestyle change.
awesome. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you very much.